At graduation, I crossed the stage at 28 with a hard-won degree in environmental engineering. 6 years of night shifts, bartending, and studying by phone light had finally turned into a diploma. Dinner after was at a waterfront shrine. To pretension. I expected a toast. I got a verdict. Richard Hawthorne, my wife Claire's father, Hotel King of New England, raised his glass. "We celebrate many things," he said, "and my son-in-law's achievement." He let the word curdle. Then, environmental engineering, waste management, filthy work. No one bearing the Hawthorne name will be tied to it. I'm restructuring the inheritance. Everything goes to Olivia. Applause. Claire stared at her salmon. Olivia, the golden child, tried to look modest and failed. I sat there with a warm diploma in my pocket and ice in my chest. That night I understood. I'd never been part of their world, only tolerated. And I decided they'd underestimated the wrong man. Building from trash while the Hawthornes preened, I worked, overnights at the factory, Thursday, Saturday behind a bar, Sundays delivering food. In the cracks, I built EcoForge with 2 friends. Lucas, a grease-under-the-nails mechanic with a genius for machines, and Arjun, a chem whiz stuck at a lab supply counter. We set up in Lucas's garage and turned plastic waste into structural bricks strong enough to stand on, literally. Fail, tweak, try again. Finally, they held. Orders came from local contractors. A reporter noticed. The city asked us to present. Crowdfunding popped. Small investors, real people, not club members, wrote checks. We moved into a starter warehouse and hired a few hands. I went back to finish the last 3 credits and defended a thesis built on an actual company solving an actual problem. On the day I finally graduated, I didn't need validation. I already had proof. The call 3 months after Richard's toast, my phone rang at 11:47 p.m. "The Newport property is gone," he said, voice stripped of swagger. "Hurricane Patricia. Roof collapsed, 3 floors flooded. We need 150, maybe 200. Fast." "Insurance?" I asked. Silence. Then, "Olivia handled renewals. Wrong policy, no storm coverage." So the heir apparent had blown it. And now the man who'd called my work filthy wanted my money. "We're family," he tried. "Leverage your investors. Help us bridge this." "I'll think about it," I said, already knowing the answer. At 8 a.m., they appeared at my door, the whole dynasty looking smaller in my thrift store living room. Olivia sobbed. Margaret sniffed that $150,000 was nothing for you now. Richard delivered the old thunder. "You're nothing without us." "No," I said, opening the door. "I built EcoForge with Lucas, with Arjun, with a community that believed before anyone else did. If anyone here is nothing without the Hawthorne name, it isn't me. Get out." They did. The smear and the suit Olivia went nuclear on social media. She called me heartless, claimed I'd abandoned family, targeted my client groups and chambers of commerce. Contracts froze. A local profile was pulled. We bled 40 grand in a month. Sophia, an old friend turned defamation attorney, drove up, spread printouts across my kitchen table, and smiled like a surgeon. She didn't vent. She published false statements to your professional network. To damage your business. We're suing. Discovery was a gift. Her shares, her coordination with family friends, her own captions outlining intent. In court, Sophia walked the jury through lies in red highlight, and the invoices we'd lost because of them. "Miss Hawthorne," Sophia asked, "why post to the Greater Boston Business Network?" "For support," Olivia said. "Support from your brother-in-law's potential clients?" Silence. The jury was out less than 2 hours. Verdict: defamation, damages, $250,000, collapse, rise. The same crowd that applauded Richard's toast passed around our court docks like popcorn. Investors cooled. Clubs suspended memberships pending review. Newport sold at a loss. 2 Vermont hotels went next. The name that once opened doors started closing them. Eco Forge did the opposite. The press from the case and our work brought new partners. We grew to 3 facilities, 40-plus employees, and an R&D team Arjun led after finishing his master's, paid by our tuition program. Lucas became OPS manager. We licensed processes carefully and stayed profitable. My marriage to Claire survived, but it changed. She'd finally seen her family clearly. She waited for an apology that never came. People like that don't say sorry. They rewrite the script until they're the victims. One last. Ask 18 months later, Margaret appeared in our lobby wearing yesterday's coat and a year's worth of defeat. "Richard needs heart surgery," she said. "Insurance won't cover it all. We need $20,000? The hotels were gone. Olivia had fled to California. They were in a 1-bedroom in Malden. Reputation, it turned out, didn't pay surgeons. I'm sorry he's sick," I said. "Truly. But I'm not your family. You made that clear when you laughed at my work, cut me out, and tried to ruin my business when I wouldn't finance your mistake." I stood, opened my office door. "Claire is my family. The people here are my family. The community that backed us is my family. You're people I used to know." "You've become a cold man," she said. "No," I said. "I became a man who knows his worth." I closed the door, turned back to the work that mattered, and felt the last tie snap. The chapter wasn't just closed, it was demolished, recycled into something stronger.